IDF Northern Command Chief. Military ready for potential war against Hezbollah. The head of the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency, Philippe Lazzarini, says that Israel bombed one of its Gaza schools without prior warning. The IDF said it had killed several terrorists in a precise strike on a Hamas compound embedded inside a UNRWA school in the Nuseirat area. According to the military, the members of the terror groups were struck while gathered in 3 classrooms, separate from an area where civilians were sheltering. Another UNRWA school turned shelter attacked. Lazzarini writes on X, attacking, targeting, or using UN buildings for military purposes are a blatant disregard of international humanitarian law. He added that UNRWA shares the coordinates of all its facilities, including this school, with the Israeli army and other parties in the conflict. The IDF said earlier that many steps were taken before the strike to minimize the risk of harm to uninvolved people, including analyzing aerial footage and using precise intelligence, and that it had been postponed twice in an effort to minimize civilian harm. A meeting between U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and a group of Arab counterparts in Riyadh in late April deteriorated into a shouting match between the foreign minister of the UAE and a senior Palestinian official. A source familiar with the matter told the Times of Israel. Confirming reporting in the Axios news site, the source recalled how Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed said during the meeting that there was no real reform in the Palestinian Authority, accused the Palestinian leadership of being Ali Baba and the 40 thieves, and said all of the PA leadership is useless. Bin Zayed went further, asking why the UAE would want to provide funding to such a body. His Highness added that if the Palestinian Authority paid as much attention to its own people as it does to security coordination with Israel, the Palestinians will be in much better shape, an Emirati official told Axios. A particularly low blow, given that the PA has long come under fire domestically for its security cooperation with Israel, but usually receives praise for it from the U.S. and the rest of the international community. Palestinian Liberation Organization Executive Committee Secretary General Hossein al-Sheikh, a close aide to PA President Mahmoud Abbas, shot back that nobody could dictate to the PA how to conduct its reforms. The sides both stormed out of the room in anger and later returned to apologize to Blinken for arguing in his presence, according to the source. The PA has long had a rocky relationship with the UAE, particularly since Abu Dhabi normalized ties with Israel in 2020. The personal relationship between Abbas and Emirati President Mohammed bin Zayed is widely known to be chilly. But the source familiar with the matter said anger with the PA and Abbas stems well beyond just the UAE, with a majority of the other countries present at the meeting. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and Qatar, all increasingly losing their patience with Ramallah. The feeling among many of those present in the meeting was that Abbas has not been willing to institute the significant reforms that are necessary in order to reform the PA, so that it can return to governing Gaza and advance a 2-state solution. The frustration with Abbas extends to Qatar, who wanted him to appoint a prime minister who would have support within Palestinian society, including the Islamist sectors. This message was passed along by Qatar's emir during Abbas's visit to the country in February. However, Abbas ultimately snubbed the emir and appointed a close confidant, Mohammed Mustafa, whose public support is rather limited.